Welcome back to the Rising of a Shield Hero Anime Review, episode number 4. This one I'm covering 8 episodes this time because that's how much time they took to adapt book 4 of the series, and I gotta say, good job. Yep. Now, pretty much you kind of think of this as sort of like a minor, like you kind of think like the beginning of the book. Now, the beginning of basically like they try to go off where the queen is. They don't actually write where the queen is. Like they actually, we have basically them running into mine and everybody else. They run away from them, though she ends up nearly burning a forest. Let's come back to bite her later. So they also took the chance, like after they left, they somehow got to a nearby lord, which they it's gonna go terms them. They're there for about let's say a couple days at the resting there, and then they're confronted by an evil lord, which Ralph Tully has got to pass with. Yep, they actually have episode 15 dedicated to her backstory, where they show her village. They pretty much show her people like normal. Then the waves happen, of course, and the planet rebuild after the waves hit the village. And then the Lord's troop showed up and took everybody as a slave. Yep. And what did this guy do with his slaves? He whipped every one of them because he had a fetish for pain. Yep, the guy had that fetish. It's a good thing. This guy kind of reminded me of a character from Overlord, where this other like inspector, which he would just beat a prostitute just because he can. Though he got killed by the guy who beat up a woman, basically became a maid for Ainz in Overlord. But this is very similar. The difference is he doesn't use his fist; he uses a freaking whip. And the thing is, Raptelli had a best friend. Now, it's hinted that she and this other kid, she may have liked this kid, but it's been hinted at for a little while in the series that she's had a thing for the Shield Hero, though he's oblivious to it because he sees her as a daughter. So, after spending time in that place, she gets sold to the slave market, where they run into the Shield Hero. Yeah, for some reason, 15 not only takes from book 4 from the series, but also a little bit from book 1, which I thought that was kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly why in the world the anime did that for, but they did. And like after they basically sort of, yeah, we have the owner, the Lord, basically where he takes Melty hostage. Takes her to his mansion. Then he looked like he's about to kill. Look up, the Shield Hero shows up, and then he drops his whip after being defeated by Reptile. Reptile basically spares his life. Basically, it's better than going on his level. And he slips his own whip and apparently gets killed by falling out of a window. Thank God we didn't have people accusing a Shield Hero of murdering him. And then he gets out of there. Of course, everybody's like, he heals up the friendly Lord. And then, like, okay, we have this other guy. I think his name is Veneer, I think his name is. Where he decides to do something really, really stupid. Summons a monster. They claim it's a dragon, but I look at this thing like, oh my gosh, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And here's the thing. I'm sure Nafumi knows what this thing is because he's seen probably pictures of this damn thing. I mean, anybody can clearly tell this is a T-Rex, not a freaking dragon. Though, goes on a rampage, though the hero's actually blamed. He's blamed for this, but not apparently killing the Lord, who gets killed by the dragon. And then, of course, they're saved by the king of the Pholoios, the bird creature that Philo is basically a part of, named Victoria. I think her name is. And she's a giant bird. Yep, she's bigger than Philo, and she's a little bit taller than she is. You also look like she had these little cowlicks on top of her head. Well, she's the queen. And she wanted to, like, because the current hero was getting along very well, she wanted to kill all 4 of them because he wouldn't reconcile with them. But, luckily there was a test, and of course Phil basically battles, and she actually survived. She actually passes it turns of the battle. Of course, she kind of missed defeat, even though that clearly she easily could beat Phil because she's weaker than she is. It's like, You win. You pass the test. And she's proclaimed the king of the Philolios, not the king of the queen. And she gets a cowlick, and she tries moving it, but it does nothing. So as a response, and for her, like as a response for passing the test, she gets one of her own hairs to the shield hair, which unlocks all the shields in the Philolian series. Which that's interesting. And then after basically talking with her for a little while, then they leave, and they get to the border, possibly where the queen is. And then they're confronted by the Spear Hero. Yep, the Spear Hero. And his annoying woman. And this is one point, even in the book and the manga, I hated this portion. Because of this stupid thing keeps saying, oh, he's using the brainwashing shield. Ugh. I hated this particular type of dialogue in both the book and the manga. Brainwashing shield. Use the brainwashing shield on him. There's no such thing as a brainwashing shield. Heck, even the Fui easily points out, though, if I had that, I wouldn't be in this mess. Yeah, and mine keeps claiming about the whole brainwashing shield. Yeah, this was so stupid. I hated this. And they fight briefly. And then of course, Reptilian Phil basically detects, of course, Malty is with them, despite the fact she really wants to kill her and sister so she can claim the crown. And then he's like, yeah, we're right together, because both Fiolio and Reptilia detect something. And they gather in a circle, and what's coming their way? A giant freaking blast from the sky, which is revealed to be judgment from the Pope. Yep, the Pope. Which, yes, this particular scene did happen in the book too, where he is revealed to be pure evil. Yeah, popes, the current popes of the current century, they're not like this at all. The way this guy is written, it's kind of like the popes of the Dark Ages, where they're corrupt, and they don't really give a damn about anything but their own particular power. So, he apparently has a weapon. A weapon that's a copy of the 4 Cardinal Heroes weapons. Which, for some reason, he doesn't bother to use a shield for some reason. He uses the sword, he uses the spear, he even uses the bow, which apparently uses his own followers, look like a bunch of nuns, some look like men. Yeah, apparently the female version of these people wear white and the men wear black. Okay. And apparently they use magic. Now, real life church thinks magic is associated with Satan. Yeah, though this is a fictional world. It's one of 2 fictional series I've seen where a church uses magic. Because the only other series I've seen use this is Black Clover. Yeah, by the way, the next video I'm going to do after this is a review of New Ship of the Manga, which I'm looking forward to talk about this one. Yep, and with this, basically what he does, after apparently, now here's the thing, he basically easily flicks away both the spear and the shoot hero's attacks, and then all of a sudden, now there's a minor subplot in these episodes prior to this one, where the sword and bow hero go investigate what the heck is going on, what really is going on. So, and of course, mine's like, mind your own business. And of course, it's revealed they actually were led into a trap. Of course, they show up in the nick of time. It's like, hey, how are you 2 alive? I thought you were killed. And of course, the shield hero is falsely accused of their deaths. He's probably like, what the heck are you talking about? Did you see your bodies? No, because mine is manipulating the spear hero. He's been doing the whole series. Yeah, she's been doing it. So, oh yeah, apparently because mine is royalty, got killer too, despite the fact they've been collaborating. They reveal this a little bit later. So, then he decides to summon a cathedral. Now, how in the world they survived their apparent death is that apparently they were led to the weapon that the Pope has, but it turns out they were led to a false shrine, which they were apparently killed, but they survived thanks to the queen of the country's shadow. Yeah, it's their basically Black Ops unit. So, and of course, the shield hero uses the Berserk shield, though he's able to get rid of the corrupting elements, basically the evil stuff, from the shield with the dragon, to make it all the hatred stuff. So basically, Malty, Philo, and Raptalia, of course they get cursed anyways, they free him of this, but he's still in the Berserker armor, but he's not like he's basically in the right mindset. And then, thanks to combine my all four heroes and most everybody there, they try to take on the Pope, but they almost failed. But luckily enough, the Queen shows up, uses her ice magic to freeze him. Though he does partially free himself, though he eventually is later killed by the shield hero. And then basically before this, now here's the thing. He's killed by shield hero by this. He uses the blood offering. I was like, what? And then he starts bleeding. And then more weird stuff happens. A giant, weird snake chain comes out of the ground and basically gobbles up the Pope. Yeah, it kills him. And then, of course, the Legion disappears. Oh, yeah, he also used the cathedral to make it loose and make it look like he's firing a bunch of arrows. I mean, it really isn't. Though it does hurt them. The Legion disappears. The shield hero collapses. And he's later, of course, the Queen introduces herself. And, of course, he's unconscious. And Mine is brought to the capital. Multi is perfectly fine, though she later reveals she apparently got healed off screen along with the other ones, probably because and the Queen is very, let's just say, very thankful for the shield hero for protecting her youngest daughter, the heir apparent to the throne. And they do have a conversation later, there's a discussion about possibly punishing her own husband and their firstborn daughter. I'm surprised the wind blowing that apparently that the shield hero doesn't take the privilege to look up her skirt. Yeah, I got handed to the Queen damn, this woman is smoking hot. Oh my gosh. Though mine must be probably, this is my personal guess, she's probably late teens, early 20s. Of course, in the case of Multi, she's 10. The Queen looks like she's probably in her mid to late 30s. But she looks great, unlike her husband, who looks like he's in his 50s. This guy apparently is her husband. She must have married him when she was extremely young. Because she looks great. Because they even show, her suiting up. They show off, basically, the fact she kind of wears almost like a sport bra underneath her own dress that she wears. So, they agreed to work together. Of course, he doesn't take up the offer. He does think about the offer to work with the country. Though he does plan to go to other places as well, because he does hear from Victorio that apparently the wave's not affecting this country, but also the other 4 countries. So he's going to go there. So then we have the moment I have been waiting to see. I've been looking forward to this. I've read this both in the manga and the light novel. Multi and the King are basically arrested. Yeah, the rest is shown off screen. Yeah, and it's revealed he's actually a proxy king. Though they don't really say, it's basically just a fill-in. Yeah, and they say there was another lord who was actually really the temporary ruler of the land. And he got killed in the first wave. So the king is like, he's gone. My land. And my firstborn, you're the heir apparent to the throne. This actually really isn't. So, yeah. And of course, the Queen does something she does similar in the manga. Now, in the book, I think she actually did this before the extra ceremony. But it looks like here in the anime, she just does the whole slave to our own firstborn daughter. And, yeah, and this is something I've been looking forward to seeing in the anime. She admits, basically, because I wasn't working with her. It's yep, she was. And she also admitted that her charge against the attempted rape charge against Shield Hero was nothing more than a big fat lie. Yep, almost everything was done because she really wanted the throne and she wanted to kill her own sister. Yep, so basically Queen's and of course the King basically just things I just did for my country, despite the fact he's an idiot. And they were sentenced to death, and there's a dream, well, of course, the Shield Hero has prior to this, that they're going to be executed, and of course this happened, though Shield Hero's nah, death is too good for them. So it's okay, how about we just change their names? The King we'll call him Trash, and we'll call mine Bitch. You probably know what I'm saying. And the Queen's good idea. And she goes by mine as an adventure name. What should we call her instead? Whore! Yep. And the punishment is this. Okay. Queen's okay. The King shall be henceforth known as Trash. And mine, the former first princess, is now referred to as Bitch. And her adventure name is Whore. Oh, and by the way, the Spirit Hero basically is now her owner. Yep. And he does agree with work with her, so goes to go to our country. So this kind of loosely set up basically what's going to happen in the next set of episodes. Though this particular, you kind of say episode 21, it's kind of a wrap up of all the bad stuff that's happened since like the start of the series. He's basically got a fresh start, which is great. Also, they bring up again about the whole thing about the spear, the sword, and the bow here, how much idiots these three are. Like, here's what they did. I mean, the sword hero, despite having kill a dragon, he nearly caused the death of an entire village. The bow hero inadvertently caused a whole country, the whole town, to go into poverty by replacing his lord. And also, it's kind of hinted that the church stole his reward money. The spirit hero, it's quite obvious because the plant episode, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we help them despite the fact they knew this thing was completely bogus. So they did rewrite the damn thing. Though I gotta say, and of course the shield hero goes off, and the queen basically knew that he was gonna do that, but that she was gonna spare. But luckily, to spare her own husband and firstborn, so he goes up and says, "I'll work with you. I'll take some award." Though his request is, "I'll request from you later." And what that is, I won't say until I talk about episodes 22, 25, which I think is explored. I'm not really sure. But all in all, good set of episodes, good pacing. I'd say the adaptation for these episodes is a lot better than they did for book 3, because book 3, from what I heard, and even though I have read book 3, I have read it, but yes, I did kind of notice a bit that they were rushing through the adaptation of. Now, here's the thing: book 3, the reason why the episodes 9 to 13 look the way they do, or why it looks like they trimmed down some stuff, because they cut a lot of stuff from the books. Like most like character moments. Book 4, I think they basically probably got some flack for basically they're rushing through a book. So they're probably like, okay, why don't we just give 8 full episodes to book 4? Which they did, and I got handed to them. They did a very good job with it. By the way, Victoria, the former queen of the basically fearless species, she sees one more time. Looking at she probably sees the battle from a distance via looking at via her mind. Though apparently she's mentally communicating with a shield hero. If I remember, this didn't happen in the book. It's been a bit since I read it. But all in all, great set of episodes, and I can't wait to eventually get a chance to watch the final 4 episodes of the season. So that's it for this particular review. My next review is a review of the news chapter, Black Clover. Yep. And if I get time today, I'll probably get a chance to do another One Piece review. Okay? Do the next video. Bye.